The council chamber was enormous, bigger than any human could imagine. Towering alien figures with shining armor and strange, glowing eyes filled every corner. Their voices echoed, deep and harsh, like thunder across the galaxy. The room smelled faintly of metal and something sharp, almost electric. At the center of the chamber, a massive hologram projected the Earth, a small blue dot in the endless darkness. The aliens laughed, their sounds rumbling like rolling stones. Humans. One of them sneered, a creature with 6 arms and scales that shimmered red. They can barely survive on their own planet. And now they want to fight in space. A younger alien cadet whispered to his friend, "They can't even survive a storm without dying." His voice shook with amusement and disbelief. The council roared. Aliens pointed at the tiny blue dot and shouted jokes and insults. They had been taught for centuries that humans were weak, primitive, slow, and simple-minded. The very idea that humans could compete with advanced species like theirs was laughable. But then the laughter stopped. A sudden signal flashed on the main hologram. A small fleet of human ships appeared at the edge of the contested star system. Unlike the massive alien warships, the humans were few, small, and seemingly fragile. The council stared in confusion. They are coming here. One older alien gasped. His voice shook, something rare among his kind. "They're fools," another said, though even he did not sound entirely sure. "They must be out of their minds. They will die before reaching the first planet." The young cadet leaned forward, his eyes wide. Something about the human ships felt different. They weren't chaotic. They weren't screaming with weapons fire. They moved silently, almost calmly, like they knew exactly where to go. The council commander, massive and golden, slammed a claw on the table. "Prepare the fleet. Show these humans how weak they truly are." His voice boomed across the chamber. The aliens cheered, but a small knot of unease formed in the cadet's stomach. On the human side, the fleet glided through the cold black of space. Their ships were not large or heavily armed. They did not shine like the alien vessels. But each ship moved with precision, coordinated as if connected by a single mind. Inside the lead ship, the human captain, a middle-aged man with calm eyes and a quiet voice, studied the holographic map of the system. "They are ready," he said softly to his crew. "But remember, we do not attack unless necessary. Stay sharp, be patient." His crew nodded. There was no fear, no panic, only focus. Every human aboard felt the weight of what they carried, not weapons, not machines, but the knowledge that the galaxy underestimated them. That was the humans' real power. Back in the council chamber, alien laughter turned to murmurs of doubt. The hologram suddenly flickered as the human ships moved faster than anyone predicted. One alien technician gasped. They are faster than our scanners expected." The cadet felt a strange chill. He had been told humans were weak, but something in him whispered differently now. The humans were small. Yes, fragile maybe. But there was something else. Something sharp. Something dangerous hidden beneath the calm. The commander's voice cut through the murmurs. "Do not hesitate. Attack them now." But as the aliens scrambled to ready their massive weapons, the lead human ship executed a sudden maneuver. It slipped between 2 of the largest alien warships, weaving through space with impossible grace. The hologram lit up as one of the alien ships exploded in a blinding flash of light. Shock froze the council. None had expected this. None could believe it. The cadet's heart pounded. He whispered under his breath, almost in fear, They're not weak." The council chamber fell silent. The laughter, the arrogance, the certainty, it vanished. For the first time in generations, the aliens felt something they had almost forgotten: fear. Outside, in the cold void of space, the human fleet continued to glide forward, calm and steady, as if daring the aliens to make another mistake. And in that moment, one thing became painfully clear. The galaxy had underestimated humans, and that would be a mistake the aliens would never live down. The human fleet moved quietly, like shadows sliding across the black canvas of space. Their ships were small, but every move was precise, every maneuver deliberate. It was almost like watching a dance, but one that could kill. The alien fleet was huge. Ships with jagged edges, massive weapons, and glowing cores filled the star system like a storm. Alien pilots laughed as they prepared to strike. They thought the humans were foolish. They thought the humans would panic. "They are slow," one alien shouted. "We will crush them in minutes. Do not underestimate them." The commander barked, though his voice lacked conviction. Something about the humans unnerved him. The first missiles shot forward. Brilliant streaks of light flew through space, aimed straight at the humans. But the humans did not scatter or panic. Instead, their ships twisted and rolled, dodging with uncanny accuracy. The missiles exploded against empty space, missing by meters that should have been impossible. Inside the lead human ship, The captain calmly watched the radar. "Keep formation. Wait for the opening," he instructed, his voice quiet but firm. His crew followed without hesitation. There was no fear, no shouting, only control. Suddenly, a young alien pilot shouted, "They are predicting our moves. How is this possible?" The alien commander slammed a claw on his console. "Focus! Fire everything!" But it was too late. The humans struck first, not with missiles, not with loud explosions, but with precision. One of the largest alien warships, the pride of the fleet, suddenly went dark. Alarms blared across every screen. The ship was crippled, completely disabled, without a single human weapon touching it directly. The alien council, watching via hologram, froze in shock. Silence replaced laughter. None of them had ever seen humans act like this. "They are smarter than we thought," muttered one veteran alien, his voice trembling. "Well underestimated them." Back in the battlefield, the human fleet moved like a single organism. They cut between the alien ships, disabling engines, sabotaging systems, and creating confusion. Every move was calculated, every action measured. The humans did not attack out of anger. They attacked to survive, to win, and to teach a lesson the aliens would never forget. A young human pilot, barely 20, grinned as he maneuvered his small fighter. "They think size and firepower make them strong," he said over the comm. "Let's show them what strategy can do." On the alien side, panic began to spread. Ships collided as crews tried to escape the unexpected attacks. Communications broke down. The alien commander's confidence faltered. "Pull back," he yelled, but his voice was drowned by chaos. The young cadet in the council chamber gripped the edge of his seat. His heart pounded. He had been taught humans were weak. He had believed it for his whole life. But now, watching them calmly dismantle a fleet hundreds of times their size, fear gripped him. Humans were not just strong, they were something else entirely. Something dangerous. Suddenly, a human ship darted close to the alien command cruiser. The cadet gasped as he saw the humans slip inside their defenses, bypassing the largest weapons without a scratch. It was like watching a single thread unravel an entire tapestry. The alien commander roared in anger. "How?" His scales bristled, and sparks flew from his armor. "How can they do this?" The human captain spoke calmly through the comm, his voice carrying across the battlefield like ice. "We do not seek war, but if you threaten us, we do not hesitate. Remember this moment. Remember the cost of underestimating humans." The young cadet felt something he had never felt before, an odd mixture of awe, fear, and respect. These humans were not animals, not fools, not weak. They were clever, patient, and unstoppable when pushed. As the first battle ended, the alien fleet was scattered, its pride broken. The humans had won without losing a single ship. Quietly, they regrouped and prepared for the next move, as calm as if they were walking down a quiet street on Earth. The council chamber was silent. Not a single alien dared speak. The young cadet whispered, almost to himself, "Maybe humans are the strongest creatures in the galaxy." And far across the stars, the human fleet continued its slow, steady advance, carrying a warning that would echo across the universe. Never provoke humans. The alien fleet was in chaos. What had started as confident mockery had turned into confusion and panic. The ships that once floated like kings in the void now drifted helplessly, their engines damaged, their systems failing. The aliens barked orders, but no command could fix the disaster. In the lead human ship, the captain leaned back in his chair, calm as ever. "They're disorganized. Now is our chance," he said quietly. His words carried no anger, no excitement, only focus. The crew nodded. They didn't cheer, didn't celebrate. Every human aboard knew that this battle was not about pride. It was about survival, about teaching a lesson without unnecessary waste. Meanwhile, inside the alien command cruiser, alarms blared. Sparks flew from damaged consoles, and alien officers ran back and forth, trying to regain control. The massive ship, once a symbol of power, shuddered under unseen human attacks. "Impossible!" the commander shouted, voice cracking. "They should not be able to do this. Our technology is centuries beyond theirs." A young cadet at the console whispered to his friend, "It's not just technology. They are smart. Really smart." The captain of the human fleet was already planning the next move. His strategy was simple but deadly. They would strike silently, disable the alien fleet without a fight they didn't need, and leave the aliens questioning every decision they had ever made. A single human pilot detached from the main formation and zoomed toward the largest alien cruiser. On board, the alien crew panicked as alarms blared, warning of intruders in the inner decks. They scrambled to defend themselves, but the intruder slipped past their defenses with ease. The young human pilot moved like a shadow, silent, precise, and terrifyingly effective. He bypassed security doors, avoided cameras, and quietly sabotaged the ship's control systems. Within minutes, the massive cruiser was paralyzed. Engines died, weapons went offline, and the ship drifted like a fallen giant in space. Back on the Alien Council hologram, the chamber was in disbelief. The cadet's jaw dropped as he watched the humans dismantle their fleet without even firing a shot directly at the biggest ships. How is this possible? The veteran alien whispered, trembling. The young cadet swallowed hard. He realized humans were not just fighters, they were thinkers. They didn't rush into battle. They planned. They waited. They struck at the perfect moment, and the result was devastating. Do you see now? The captain's voice came over the calm, firm, unshakable. We do not need to destroy everything. We act only when necessary. We are not reckless, and we are not weak. The alien commander roared in frustration. Attack them? Crush them before he could finish, another human ship maneuvered behind his flagship, cutting off escape routes. Systems failed across the alien fleet like dominoes falling. One by one, ships were rendered useless, not through brute force, but through intelligence and precision. The young cadet felt fear in a way he had never imagined. These humans, small and seemingly fragile, had more power than the largest alien warships. Not raw strength, but knowledge, patience, and control. Every movement was calculated. Every decision had meaning. The lead human captain ordered the fleet to regroup, silently floating in formation like a predator surveying its prey. No one on his team spoke unnecessarily. Every eye was on the next step, every mind focused. The humans had not even begun their full assault, yet the aliens were already crippled, confused, and terrified. The cadet whispered again, this time louder. They're not just strong, they're unstoppable. In the void of space, the human fleet glided forward. Their engines left trails of blue light, silent warnings across the dark emptiness. The alien fleet staggered, scattered, unsure of what to do next. One thing was clear, the humans had changed the game, and the aliens would never forget this lesson. The galaxy, it seemed, had misjudged humans once again. And this time, the consequences would be unforgettable. The alien fleet was in full chaos. Ships drifted aimlessly, weapons offline, engines sputtering, and crews panicked. The command cruiser, once the pride of the galaxy, was now a crippled giant. Every alien aboard could feel the fear rising, thick and heavy, like a storm ready to break. In the lead human ship, the captain watched the battlefield calmly. His eyes scanned the alien fleet with quiet precision. Every ship disabled, every weapon neutralized, and still, he did not celebrate. There was no thrill in victory for humans. Only discipline, focus, and purpose. Prepare to broadcast, the captain said, voice steady. Let them hear us. Let them understand. The crew nodded. They were ready. Each human moved like a machine of strategy, calm yet lethal in its efficiency. Across the void, the human's message crackled through alien communications, clear, direct, and unthreatening, yet filled with authority. We do not seek war, the captain's voice echoed, but we do not forgive those who threaten us. You underestimated us. You mocked us. You attacked us first, and now you see the cost. Silence fell over the alien fleet. Officers froze at their consoles. The words were simple, but they carried power stronger than any weapon. Fear spread through the ranks like wildfire. The young cadet in the council chamber could not move. His eyes were glued to the hologram. He had seen humans fight, yes, but this calm authority, this controlled strength, was something he had never imagined. Humans were not just survivors. They were precise, intelligent, unstoppable. Suddenly, a human fighter slipped inside the alien flagship. The ship's massive interior seemed like a labyrinth, but the human moved silently, systematically sabotaging systems. Lights flickered, engines failed. Weapons went offline one by one. No one dared stop him. The alien crew didn't know where to focus. The captain continued speaking over the comm, his voice soft but commanding. We do not fight for hatred. We do not fight for glory. We fight to protect, to endure, to survive. But make no mistake, those who threaten humans will pay the price. This is the law of our kind. We remember, we endure, we win. The young cadet's heart pounded. He whispered to his friend, They are not just winning. They are teaching us a lesson we will never forget. Outside, the human fleet glided like a predator in space. They did not fire randomly. They did not rush. Every action was calculated. Every ship moved in perfect formation. Every move was a message. Humans are patient, humans are smart, humans are deadly, but only when necessary. The alien commander, scales bristling, tried to speak through the chaos. Attack finished them. But it was too late. The humans had already disabled key ships, cut off escape routes, and controlled the battlefield. The commander realized that raw power meant nothing without strategy, and humans, small and underestimated, had both. The young cadet looked around at the council chamber. Older officers whispered in disbelief. Some began to shake. The laughter from earlier was gone, replaced by fear and awe. For the first time, the aliens truly understood humans. Never provoke them. The cadet whispered, voice trembling. He realized it wasn't a warning. It was a rule written in experience and survival. Humans endured, humans planned, and humans struck when necessary. They were not just fighters, they were thinkers, strategists, and survivors of the highest order. The captain of the human fleet gave the final order, regroup. We leave now. Let them remember this lesson. The fleet moved as one, engines glowing faint blue, drifting quietly away from the devastated alien fleet. No one cheered, no one laughed. But the message was clear: humans were not weak. Humans were not reckless. Humans were a force no one should provoke, a species both patient and unstoppable. In the council chamber, silence reigned. The alien commander stared at the empty hologram where the humans had been. His pride, his arrogance, and his confidence, all destroyed in a single, calm campaign. The young cadet whispered again, now with awe. We thought we were the strongest, but humans are something else. Far across the stars, the human fleet disappeared into the darkness, leaving a warning that would echo through every corner of the galaxy. Never provoke humans. The council chamber was silent. Not a single alien dared speak. The once proud fleet was shattered, their pride crushed under the calm, unstoppable force of humans. Officers exchanged fearful glances, and the young cadet could feel the tension pressing down like gravity. For the first time in the galaxy's history, humans had proven that size, firepower, and technology were meaningless without strategy, patience, and willpower. And the aliens now understood the most important lesson of all: some mistakes could never be undone. Outside the council chamber, holograms of the battlefield flickered. The human fleet had vanished, leaving only the drifting remains of alien warships. Systems lay dead, alarms still blaring uselessly. Every alien aboard the surviving ships could feel the weight of their failure. The alien commander, golden scales dull and tarnished, stood in silence. His pride, once unshakable, had been dismantled piece by piece. How could they do this? He muttered, voice barely audible. The young cadet, heart pounding, whispered. They weren't fighting recklessly, they were thinking. Always thinking. That's why they won. Back among the stars, the humans moved quietly. Their ships glided through the darkness like shadows, engines humming softly. No one celebrated. There was no cheering, no triumph in their eyes. Their victory was complete, but it was measured, controlled, and purposeful. Inside the lead human ship, the captain addressed his crew. We leave them a lesson, he said. We do not seek revenge. We do not celebrate their failure. We only show them what happens when you threaten humanity. They will remember this, and so will the rest of the galaxy. The crew nodded in silence, understanding the weight of those words. They had not destroyed the aliens for anger or hatred. They had acted for survival, for honor, and for the principle that humans would not be underestimated. Across the alien fleet, scattered officers tried to communicate, but their voices trembled, and their commands were lost in confusion. Fear had replaced arrogance. Pride had given way to doubt, and somewhere deep in the hearts of the aliens, the unshakable truth settled: humans were not just fighters, they were the unexpected storm, quiet but devastating, patient but lethal. The young cadet turned to his friend, voice low, almost reverent. We laughed at them, we thought they were weak. And now we see that humans are something else, something we cannot measure, cannot predict, and cannot fight the way we fight anyone else. The council chamber remained motionless. Silence stretched for what felt like hours. Finally, the oldest alien spoke, voice trembling. Well, we have learned. We will never forget this day. We will never provoke humans again. Outside, the human fleet disappeared into the endless darkness of space, leaving a calm, haunting message behind. Not a threat, not a challenge, just a truth: humans endured. Humans planned. Humans won, and anyone foolish enough to provoke them would discover the cost too late. The young cadet watched the hologram flicker off, his mind racing. For the first time, he truly understood why humans were feared, why they were respected, and why the galaxy would never be the same. In the quiet of space, far from the wreckage of the alien fleet, the human captain looked at the stars. He did not smile. He did not celebrate. He only whispered, almost to himself, "We are not the strongest because of our weapons. We are the strongest because we endure, and we never forget." The galaxy had misjudged humans once, but now the lesson was written clearly across the stars, in silence and in the drifting wreckage of arrogance. Never provoke humans. And as the light of the human fleet faded into the void, a single thought settled in every mind that witnessed the event: humans were not invincible, but they were relentless, patient, and unstoppable when pushed. A species small and underestimated, yet capable of changing the course of the galaxy itself. The story of this day would echo across civilizations, whispered among stars and commanders alike, a warning, a lesson, and a truth. The humans had arrived, and no one could ignore them.